We're back. Mitchell Griffith here with Griffithgoodsandspirits, and today we've got one of the most quotable movies of all time, everybody's favorite Jack Black movie. It's
Nacho!
And we're going to be doing some smoked rosemary palomas today. As we always do, let's start with a cocktail.
I knew it. He is not a man of God.
Today we've got a smoked rosemary paloma. So let's start off with just a handful of ice in the bottom of your shaker. You've got 1.5 ounces of tequila. We're going with El Jimador Blanco today, just so that the tequila flavor doesn't overpower your citrus here. But if you would like a stronger tequila taste, go ahead and go for something like a reposado.
Don't be crazy.
We've got 1.5 ounces of tequila going in, 3 ounces of our grapefruit juice. We've got 1/2 ounce of our lime juice. And then we're gonna do about 1/2 ounce of blue agave here. Then lock it in and give it a fun shake. To cap this whole thing off, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and give this lime just a quick run around. And I'm gonna dip this glass in some tahini. And we're gonna go ahead and strain it into this glass. Now to garnish this beautiful cocktail. Today, we've got a little bit of rosemary, and we're just gonna hit it with our lighter. Give it a little bit of smoke. It's a little bit of aroma, and it's gonna improve the taste of your drink as well. I'm gonna give it a slap to activate it, drop it right in there, and then garnish with a little lime wheel.
And I just thought it would be a good idea if you...
All right, now that we've got our paloma done, it's time to start on the nachos. We've got
fresh ingredients.
And we're gonna start off by making our own refried black beans.
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
We're gonna start off doing our black beans by adding one 15-ounce can of black beans. I've got 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, onion powder, chili powder, and some cumin. I'm gonna drop that in there. And then, if you want a little bit more heat than that chili powder is gonna provide, like I do, I'm gonna add 2 chipotle peppers to this.
He puts the people on fire.
We've got this locked in our food processor, and we're just gonna go ahead and hit the puree.
Fantasy has ended, and all the children are gone. Something good inside me helps me to carry on.
And this is what you want your black beans to look like. We've set our black beans aside, and we're gonna start on our skirt steak. We've got some grape seed oil going in this pan. We've got it at a really high heat, almost smoking. And then we've got just a little bit of salt here on the top. The reason I'm not adding any spices to this is because most of your spices are just gonna come off in the pan. You're gonna wanna go ahead and make sure whenever you lay the steak down that you get it nice and flat all the way across so that you can get an even crust all the way across your steak. You're gonna wanna make sure and not move your steak because you want a good crust to form, and you're only gonna wanna cook this for about 2 minutes each side because it's gonna have some carryover cooking after you take it off the heat. Our steak's been going for about 2 minutes each side. We've got a great crust on it. And you've got this going right here. You're gonna turn your heat down a little bit and set your steak over on a resting tray. What you don't wanna do is get rid of this pan yet. What you're gonna do is you're gonna add 1/2 of a yellow onion, and you're just gonna roughly slice this. And give it a rough chop down the middle. Add all of these onions to it to go ahead and caramelize to go on top of your nachos. So our steak is resting over here. You're gonna let it rest for about 5 to 8 minutes. And while that's going, you're gonna get some good color on your onions. You want them to be a little bit brown on the corners, but not completely brown. And while that's going on, you're gonna take your peppers, give it a slice down the middle, and a rough chop, and you're gonna add it to your onions. All right, so we've got all of our red and green bell peppers done here. We're gonna add these to the mix. All right, now it's time to assemble that your veggies are done. You're gonna add these onto your chips.
Did you not tell them that they were the Lord's chips?
I was trying to.
We've got all of our peppers and onions added to our nachos. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take 8 ounces of Fiesta blend cheese, and I'm just gonna drape these over the top of our nachos, just to make sure that everything gets a nice good coating on it.
Mucho take it easy.
All of our chips have gotten a little bit of love for some cheese and some peppers. Now we're gonna toss all of this in the oven at 350, just so this will all melt down. While all of that's in the oven, we're gonna go ahead and slice up our steak to go on top of the nachos. We cut all of our steak up into 1-inch cubes and added it to our nachos just to heat up in the oven and let all the cheese melt. Now this pan, that's been your favorite pan all day, it's had your onions, it's had your steak. Now put your refried beans in here just to heat them up. You're gonna wanna have it on low temperature just to warm up. Now we're cutting a little bit of green onion. You're just gonna wanna thinly slice this. We've pulled our nachos out, and all of the cheese and peppers and onions are smelling great. We've got our refried beans warmed up here. All of our green onions have been sliced up. Now we're gonna thinly slice some jalapeños, tear some cilantro, toss it all on our nachos. Our nachos are almost completely done. Our beans are nice and warm. We're just gonna go ahead and ladle some of these over the top. Give everything some love.
Big keys, little hug, keys, little keys.
Now that we've got our beans on here, we're gonna go ahead and add some of our green onions, just all around the sides, so that there's no chips left behind. And then we're gonna add 3 jalapeños. Just give it a good shake. You don't have to put all of them on there if you don't want. I love a little bit of heat. We're gonna add some cilantro to it. Take the stems off, chunk those. You're just gonna give this just a nice rough chop. We've finally chopped all of our cilantro. And now what we're gonna do is add in some Pancho's white cheese dip, or queso. Just gonna go ahead and make sure that all of these chips are nice and covered. Now that we've got all of those nice and covered, we're just gonna garnish it with a little bit of cilantro. Now to top it all off, I'm gonna do just a little bit of purple onion on the top. Just cut it nice and thin and give it a rough chop. Now I'm gonna add some of our diced purple onion to the top. We've got our mountain of nachos ready. We've got our smoked rosemary Paloma, and now you're ready for family dinner.
See what it tastes like.
But my life is good. Really good.
What took you so long?